Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. It's a nice sunny morning here in the UK. Been some breaking news over the weekend, so I thought I'd get my good friend Anthony Lee in to have a little chat about this policy violation and the emails that people have been receiving in the last couple of days. Hopefully we can shed some light on it. Obviously there's no official word from Amazon yet, but we thought we'd just break down what we're hearing and what we're seeing. So good morning, Anthony.
Good morning. It's actually afternoon here, but
Yeah,
I
where are
see
you?
you're enjoying a cup of coffee. I'm in Taiwan. It's about 4 p.m. here, so we've had our day so far.
Cool. And so how's the chaos been for you after the last couple of days? Actually, let's back up a little bit. Let's explain what it is. So an email went out and it hit people stroke Friday, Saturday time. What was the email and what was the contents of the email?
All right. So the email was from Listings Report Proactive at Amazon.com,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to read it. This is what it says. Hello.
Okay.
We are contacting you because you appear to have violated the policies of misuse of ratings, feedback, or reviews, misuse of sales rank, misuse of search and browse on our site. Prohibited behaviors on Amazon.com include, but are not limited to, hiring third parties to try to improve ASIN, rank, and/or reviews, sending packages to addresses where the recipient does not order or expect them, soliciting or accepting false or fraudulent orders, placing orders for your own products, compensating buyers for purchasing your products, including claim codes. If this conduct continues, you will not be eligible to sell on Amazon.com. To learn more about this policy, we encourage you to review the misuse of sales rank, misuse of search and browse, misuse of sales rank sections of the prohibited seller activities and actions page at Seller Central with a link. Sincerely, Seller Performance Team, Amazon.com.
Okay, so we've got that. Then a shitstorm hit. Then it's been all over Facebook. Then it's been all over. Where else has it been on? There's been a few places, mainly in the Facebook groups. Okay, so let's pick apart the letter now that's been sent out. Very, 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 very broad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's just going over policies in general. It's extraordinarily broad.
yeah. So they've listed a load of possible black hat, or mainly black hat and grey hat tactics that people would use as a brushstroke and just sent out, but not everyone's gone. I went through 7 accounts. I don't have any notifications, nor do I have emails. You don't throughout any of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, you work for a ranking company. What have you seen in terms of accounts? Have you had feedback?
I severely doubt that every email that people get, they automatically email us. But out of our client base and out of one of the groups that we also have for Amazon sellers, we did have one out of all of them that actually got the email, and they were really concerned. As I understand, anybody that gets a performance violation email is concerned, but we were able to, before, which I'm sure we'll get to in a minute, before the news came out that there was a possible glitch email that got sent out, we were able to assuage his fears, because here's the thing, we've actually seen this exact email before, like this exact word for word policy violation email we have seen before in another account months ago, and we already dug through and found out, because the first thing people want to do is they want to start, what am I doing to break the terms of service? I don't think I'm doing anything, or maybe I am and I didn't realize it, and oh my gosh, am I going to lose my account? And they start kind of panicking. And we've already actually gone through all this. We dug through all the possibilities. There was communications with Amazon, and so when this came up again, we're like, oh yeah, that's a blanket email that got sent out to a bunch of people a while ago. I guess because they had just created the email and they were testing sending it out, or I think some people who got it legitimately specifically got it because that was back when Amazon was cracking down on the specific verbiage in feedback emails that said, hey, if you want to leave us a good review, click here, and if you don't, why don't you talk to us first and click here? Some people got in trouble for that. This is the email they received. So it's like, we've seen this before. And then we see it being sent out again. We're like, okay, look, this doesn't mean you're being suspended. Just look at your feedback sequence. It's all good.
Yeah.
This is it's probably just another blanket because they hit a lot of people that didn't get violations last time.
Yeah.
But that was a closed group that we shared that in. And the next thing you know, we're looking out the outside of the building and people are freaking out. Like
the skies are falling. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this just before we move forward, because there's been a counter here as well. There has been no official word come down from Amazon, has there, of this policy warning in any way other than someone has contacted seller support. So I'll read this email out. Greetings from Amazon seller support. Thank you for contacting us. I am Showcat, great name, the Amazon seller support. It was a great pleasure to assist you today regarding the concern that you have received this email regarding misuse of ratings. Now, he only covered ratings in this mail, but obviously there was loads of different elements of the policy. I need to inform you that many sellers have contacted us regarding the same issue. There is a technical glitch that impacted North America marketplace. Apologies for the inconvenience causing to you and other sellers. There is nothing wrong with your account individually. We've already alerted our specialists in this matter, and they are trying to get this resolved as soon as possible. I appreciate that you are very much concerned about your account. You just need to wait until then. Everything will be perfect again. If you have any queries, please write back to us with your exact concern. We'll help you accordingly. Have a nice day. That's it. So obviously now this has gone round Facebook groups, a lot of the FBA groups. And obviously that's blowing up. So they're all saying, yeah, well, you can only send one email now. You know, sequences, this is the end. I think my favorite one was someone came up with the A10 algorithm, apparently related to this conversation. But apparently there's an A10 out there that he knows about, and this is all going to be part of going forward. So can you tell me about A10 algorithm?
Oh, wow. I wish I could. This thing sounds, I don't know, incredible.
Do you know the irony? He may actually know, and it may be true, but you know, it's the same thing. We're all on the outside looking in, aren't we? We don't work at Amazon. I put in some calls to try and find out some more information. Obviously, they're going to be concerned about their accounts and stuff like that. And then you got this screen grab. So now this screen grab has been added to all the other conversations. And then people are questioning this screen grab. So now we've got people countering something that's not even official. So they're countering a counter, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's like fake news, if you like, because it's not official yet. It may become true, but it's almost like fake news. So let's break down these the policy of violations, because a lot of people are going back on the ranking side. Now, it's easy for us to have this conversation. You work for a ranking company. So obviously, it's going to look like, oh, yeah, well, I work for a ranking company, so I'm going to protect my position. So cutting all the bullshit aside, what's your take on this whole thing? And the
well, I understand that my opinion's never going to matter on this, which sucks because the truth is I use our ranking service. I use other means for other things that help me rank. Yeah. As a Amazon business owner, like I sell products too, and I use these things. And I can assure you that I want to be suspended about as much as anybody else wants to be suspended. And my take on it is nothing's changed. The verbiage is the same. The TOS hasn't changed. Like Amazon does make moves. Amazon does do things. They crack down on things. Yeah. They're trying to clean up things to kind of make the situation better for buyers. Yeah. Better for them and their profits. They definitely don't want to see their marketplace turn into some of the negative things that eBay, for example, has turned into. So so there's a lot of places they clean things up. That's the reason why. For those of you guys who have been around long enough, you might recall about 2 years ago, Amazon went on this huge rampage cleaning up the listings, like suppressing listings that had too big of titles and putting really strict guidelines on a bunch of categories, a bunch of listings in those categories. They actually loosened up since then, the whole 200 character thing. If you guys were around before that, there was a period of time, there were certain categories where they had limited down to 50 or 80 characters for a title. Like, could you imagine? and they do these things to clean everything up and to make the experience as good as possible for the customer. So they do crack down on stuff, but what we're seeing here is I mean, there's no new initiative. There's no reason to believe that they're going after a specific something.
Yeah.
For the people who think it's all about feedback, like, again, that email was from a seller support person. A lot of people think that the blog post that was posted and then redacted, a lot of people think that that was going to be in the works anyway,
Yeah.
but I still am skeptical. Like, I don't see any reason to believe, like, yeah, Amazon doesn't want you to spam people, but I don't know that it was that huge of a problem, especially now that people can opt out, like, if you can opt out, why are they going to turn around and still be harping on this? I think they fixed it already. So I'm not sure they're going to limit that. I don't think there's any reason for them to, especially because all of that traffic goes on their AWS servers, and to some degree we pay for that. So, I mean, I don't see that being an issue. And then a lot of people, of course, are pointing to, oh, well, this all has to do with ranking manipulation. You're paying third parties for ASIN rank. And it's because people don't remember that we've already talked to Amazon and we got them as best we could, because they'll never endorse anything. And they'll always stay vague. But as best we could, we got them to define these terms. They view sales rank as the BSR. When they say manipulate, they mean not real sales. They mean when you're pushing fake traffic and one buyer with 70 accounts, that's manipulation. That's what you're doing. When you hire a third party to inflate being the key term, because they define inflate as doing something unnatural. Making sales, even at a promo price, is not unnatural. Inflating is unnatural, and that's when you hire a third party who has a server farm in India with a whole bunch of people that are sitting there doing activity on a listing, adding to a wish list, or sending out fake orders, or making unreal FBM buys. Like, that's inflation, because it's not real. Like, when you have a sale, and you give everything away for $1.99, like, that's good for the consumer. Amazon's never going to frown on something that their customers are going to love. I mean,
exactly. So I think you got to look at the other side of it. If we put it into, everyone has a different opinion and have a different stance on selling on Amazon, right? So let's break down some of these. So you've got people that will, what we call, play the game. So they're allowed to do discounts, so they do it. They use ranking companies and stuff. Then you've got guys who've been on Amazon for years who don't use them, who don't want to go that way because it takes more of their profit away. So it's like, well, when I started on Amazon, this was really easy, but now it's got more competitive. I don't want to go down that route. So they hate that route. Therefore, it's against terms of service. And do you know what I mean? Their mind shift is trying to kill that off. And that's perfectly your point of view. That's not a problem. Then you've got the other side where people go, well, I don't simply like to spend money on marketing. I like to throw stuff on the marketplace. Therefore, I don't want to do giveaways. Or they do giveaways, but don't do them for long enough. Therefore, it's rubbish. It doesn't work. It's like with any business. You've got a platform changes, a business change, and you've got to move with the times. And some people don't like to move with the times. So that's why you're going to get people that are going to call this out, because they're going to have, perfectly rightfully so, have their own different point of views. And I think that's where the argument starts to build, because people, like you joke about the skies are falling. Some people were sitting there rubbing their hands in the hope that this warning letter's gone out to everyone and it's going to kill off promos, because then they don't have to invest into promos. And that's fine. But you see what I mean? But everyone's going to have their positioning.
And they're going to have that regardless. Like, here's the thing. If for whatever reason Amazon decided, this whole promo coupon code thing's not really working for us, we're going to cut it. Which, by the way, if Amazon wanted to stop launch services, that's all they'd have to do is say, hey, we're not going to do the promo codes anymore. We're just going to do the built-in coupons we have.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Like, it's easy for them. Anyway, but if they ever decide to do that, the same people will complain about, PPC. Oh, you have a PPC management company. That's a third party. That's got to be against terms of service somewhere. Yeah. And they're going to figure out a way to just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's there's always people who think what they're doing is the only right way. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own
and I want to be clear on the show. This is absolutely fine. You should have your own opinion. Let's get back on track here. Let's talk about the email sequences themselves. So let's just take this for a second, because obviously the idea is that we want to put people mind at ease, but they still need to be vigilant because this can all happen in the future, right? So let's take a look at email sequences. Now, you'll probably find there's a lot of people go, well, my email sequences are in terms of service, or they think they're in terms of service. But if you read them, it might say, if you're happy, then please leave a review. Like, your verbiage really counts, right?
It does, but we're still going to have interpretations there. Here's the thing.
Exactly, yeah.
I can tell you from personal experience, because I've seen almost everything, which is the only reason why I take such hard positions on this stuff, because it's like, look, I've been in this game long enough and we have a lot of clients. I have seen it all.
Yeah.
I have seen people get suspended for their feedback sequence. However, they got warnings.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't something that Amazon just sprung. Like, they will let you know, especially for feedback. Feedback's not like one of those, oh, we found out you're running 14 different unauthorized stores. You know what I mean? It's not like, imagine terms of service is kind of like laws, right? So the speed limit is a law, but going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit doesn't mean you're going to like get pulled over and put in jail, right? Yeah. Feedback emails seem to be like that too. They monitor it, and if you do some stuff in there, they're going to let you know, like, hey, something you're doing is not right. Yeah. And they might not be as blatant about it, but the point is like, you'll have the opportunity to fix it. And then the people that I know that got suspended, they got their accounts back. Yeah. And they quickly figured out what it was that they were doing wrong, and which specific term they kept violating and kept ignoring, Amazon on to continue to do. And then they had to fix that. But yeah, to answer your question, obviously verbiage matters, because that's the reason why they got suspended. Amazon is very clear that, I personally think that if you like us, leave a review is a little gray area. You might say that's against terms. I think that it seems almost against terms, but at the same time,
if you are happy. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's being selective. Much we can be as clever as you want to be.
If you give them an alternative, then yes, you've turned it against terms. So what happens if you say, if you're happy, leave us a review, and if you leave it at that, then it's like, okay, well, you just asked them for a review. That's kind of gray.
Yeah.
But if you say you're happy, leave us a review. Otherwise, click here. Okay, now you've literally said only leave us a review if it's good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, click here. So that's blatant. There's a gray.
Yeah.
But to be safe, I agree with you though. Like, I don't want to take that chance because it's a kind of a silly thing to take it on. So in my feedback sequence, like, I legit say, we want your honest feedback. So please tell us and the rest of the world about your honest experience in the form of a product review here. Yeah. That's it. I don't ask for good or bad or anything like that. And I think that is the safest way to go. But
yeah, some of the stuff that's come across to me, I've checked them with Chris McCabe as well, and he just cracks up laughing. It's things like, when they're offering like freebies and stuff within the mail, in the same mail that they're asking for reviews. They have to be very, very clear on the structure of how they you implement it. And that's the thing, is that, we all know is that everyone's trying to tickle for reviews, right? Mm-hmm. So you sit there and you might write this email and go, I'm being really clever here. But if Amazon flags it, they flagged it. So I think if you want to play it safe for now, because let's be honest, that's if the emails get there. Most emails don't even arrive. Do you know what I mean?
Not anymore.
It's so poor is that only a tiny frequency actually really get them after deliverability, after the local blacklist, but we're covering that on another show. But ultimately, if you want to play it safe, then go and review your email sequence, cut back any of the tickling. Just even follow up where you want to, maybe for now is to look at it, is to protect yourself from negative reviews, i.e. use customer service as part of your emails rather than trying to give them something to free in exchange of X, or here's a coupon code,
That's marketing 101 though. You should always have a reason to email. But yeah, I think you're right. You should probably leave the link to leave a review out of any communications that offer free stuff. And here's the thing. I never stopped sending the feedback email to promo customers. I never bought into that whole, that might be what's triggering it. Like,
Yeah.
I just keep everything separate. Like, there's this email that says, hey, here's some instructions. Here's an incentive for next time. And then completely separate email is, hey, we'd really appreciate your feedback in an honest form.
Yeah.
If you'll give it to us.
What about, let's quickly chat about the ranking side of things, the rank stimulation, using Facebook ads. We've covered this loads of times on the show, but I think one of the biggest problems that Amazon looking at, and from the suspension guys I've spoken to, numerous of them, when they talk about Facebook and they don't talk about it in the technical level, it all goes down to tickling for reviews.
We had somebody who used to be one of our clients. They were also a client of another service, but either way, they were suspended. They went to, I'm not going to name names, but they went to one of these suspension services.
Yep.
And they said, we're suspended, we need help. And the suspension service was like, well, what have you done? And they went through all of their marketing and they said, oh, you've been using, blast type, promo type services. You have to let them know that you did that. Tell them that you're not going to do that again. They send in the appeal. Guess what? Amazon goes, no, sorry, we're not giving you your account back because that's not what we're looking for.
Right.
They were like, wait a minute. You said this was going to fix it. And the suspension service is like, well, I mean, we thought it would. And then they dug deeper and they go, okay, well, it might be this issue. And then they sent in that appeal and they were like, okay, you can have your account back. Yeah. That was the blatant sign there that Amazon does not give a crap about your promos.
Yeah.
They just don't want you manipulating reviews. Turns out they were blatantly asking for, positive reviews and follow-ups. So that's interesting, though, that now the attack is on. Because I saw a post from one of these big affiliate groups, too, about, we're advising everybody to suspend their Facebook activity because everybody wants to say it has to do with the coupon code. And it's like, that's the most illogical thing I've ever heard. Like, if Amazon didn't want you doing these coupon codes, they would just not let you do them.
They just turn them off. Yeah.
But for some reason, people, no, you can't do 90% off. Like, then they wouldn't let you do 90% off. Amazon doesn't want you doing free, so guess what they did? Yeah. They turned off your ability to do free. Like, that's it's not hard for them.
Looking from the Amazon point of view, right? There's two things they want. They love their customers, right? And they love traffic coming to their website.
Mm-hmm.
And they we as sellers are investing in Amazon to go onto their platform. So we pay for their multi-billions a year PPC and fight out on platform. So we spend money there, yeah? And the customers are happy. Then we do off platform. So we give away a load of our shit, basically, lose and hemorrhage cash to help with the ranking. But in that time that's happening, we're driving external traffic to Amazon. We're paying for that traffic to go to Amazon. Mm-hmm. Amazon's got the customers going, oh, I love Amazon. I've just got a 90% discount. So Amazon's going to look at two sides, going, hold on, we're going to have to stop like the bad apples or whatever, really bad on one side. But on one side, look at this. We've got all these morons paying out for all of these promos and giving it to all our customers. So
and it's not even just the promos too. The idea that Amazon doesn't want you running Facebook ads for any reason to their platform, like, that's absurd. Okay, like, there was a time when social traffic alone would rank your they had to stop that because people were abusing it. But there was a time when Amazon wanted, like, why do you think this new social media coupon exists? They realize, oh man, people are doing Facebook ads and they're sending them directly to our website instead of their own. Yeah. Let's make that as easy as humanly possible because that's a good idea. Yeah. They're making a ton of money off that. They're getting a ton of traffic off of that. Amazon wants you running these advertisements. So any idea, it's just completely illogical to think that, there's something wrong with that. Like, people are speculating about links and Messenger, again, they just don't want you breaking their terms. Their terms explicitly state that you can't compensate people for reviews.
Ultimately, there is no official news whatsoever.
Yep. None.
So the sky at this stage is not falling. Next week, we might lose coupon codes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Amazon might officially announce that you can't have a storefront URL. Mm-hmm. Then that's done.
Yeah, exactly.
But they haven't. and it still rumbles on. How long's this whole two-step stroke storefront URL been rumbling on? 3 years? You had the super URL in, yeah.
It's been a little while. The storefront URL, I don't know how long it's been there. I don't remember when they made that change. I know everybody discovered it about a year ago.
Yeah.
Before that, a lot of people were manipulating the browse node.
Yeah.
But it's essentially the same thing. It was like they were just putting the a category browse node and your merchant ID in the URL. So it was like simulating a storefront, and then Amazon just created the storefront and made it a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
But it's been a while, and it's still rumbling on. Amazon gave us that URL, and the URL works when you send traffic to it and you make sales on it. Like, it actually works for ranking.
Yeah.
So.
But that's another story. Getting into ranking again. Why did my ranking not work? And has it slowed down? And is it taking longer? And all these different things. I mean, I'm not really seeing much in the changes. In Europe, maybe there's a bit of delay in pending orders and stuff, and it's catching up on itself. But I'm not having any problems with ranking stuff personally. But I don't know, for you quickly, before we go, have you seen any delay? Are you spending longer in terms of doing the promo runs?
No, here's the thing. Nothing's changed, but there's always certain circumstances, right? Like, for example, we saw a couple instances, like a couple out of several hundred, where the storefront URL didn't work the way we expected it to. Yeah. And it turns out the reason why is because in that particular category, Amazon was playing around with the layout. Yeah. And a mobile layout was different than the PC layout. So the ranking was happening on mobile, but not on PC. Yeah. And it didn't fix itself until, another promo with a different URL was done. And sometimes that happens in categories. Sometimes it works out really good for the seller. Like, for no reason at all, they'll be number 2 for like a 3 million search a month keyword. Like, they did one promo for like 40 units. How did that happen? Yeah. And then others, they'll throw 100 units at it and be like, why didn't it move the needle? I'm still on page 4. And it's because Amazon messes around with their layout all the time. So sometimes that happens, but that's always been the case.
Yes.
On the whole, everything is still working the way it always has.
Because even Viral Launch, they come out last week and said, look, we're not seeing any changes either, Yeah. That's got to be careful, is that you get that groundswell, because real news can turn into fake news or vice versa. So you just have to be careful what's coming in. Again, I'd like to say that we have no official announcement from Amazon about this email or, countering this email, other than a member of seller support sending out an email that's a screen grab, and the email that everyone's got sent. But so far, I can't see any skies that have fallen just yet. So
not yet. I would just advise people, look, just take a second, breathe. Here's the thing, okay? Like, I understand that I have a vested interest in getting people in our service, but I honestly, I don't care if you use our service, if you use another service, if you don't use launch services at all, because that's not part of your strategy, I mean, like, I know you don't use them in your overseas operations because you've created your own, right? Yeah. Like, you use Facebook. Yeah. Whatever works for your business. The thing I have a problem with is these big personalities coming out and telling people, don't do this, you'll get suspended, doing the fear mongering. And then people are like, oh, I've turned off all of my feedback sequences just to be sure. And it's like, if you don't want to use feedback sequences, you don't have to, but understand that even though the number that gets through is much lower, you're going to have a much harder time getting reviews if you don't communicate with your customers. And it's not just about reviews. It's about the fact that people like it when you're a real person, not just a faceless company, and you make yourself available to them in case they have any issues. If you sell a highly technical product and you don't send them any instructions, you don't ask them, to get in contact with you if they need help, like, that might hurt your business. So just relax, everybody, take a second, let everything die down, and you'll probably find that everything's still going in the direction it should be going.
Cool. Well, look, let's wrap it there. If anyone wants to contact me on the subject, it's danny@sellersessions.com. Happy to answer any questions. Anthony, what's your email?
Anthony@sixleaf.com, or you can hit me up on Facebook Messenger. I spend way too much time on Facebook.
Cool. Thanks for joining us today, guys. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. We'll speak to you soon. Take care.